everyone, and welcome to another News Coolum video, and I think another North State charging update or rundown or whatever the case may be. We're coming off of a pretty heavy atmospheric rainstorm. I think we had about, I don't know, probably 6 to 8 inches of rain here. There's more storms on the way. I was actually going to go check out the newly opened Pilot Flying J in Weed, but it was actually, the I-5 was closed that far north due to all this weather that we're coming in. So we had a little bit of a break, I feel like. Wow, are you fogging up? It's pretty humid, and it's in the 40s, but yeah, I'm just gonna head out. Walter over at the Network Architect channel, he's kind of on to me. He said he was watching some of my old videos and he realized that, I go out and I travel and I don't really have a plan. That's not too far off. I kind of have a general idea of what I need to do, but most of these trips, it's because they're multi-purpose, right? I'm shopping, I'm just getting out and doing some things, but I'm checking out the stuff while I'm there. I still have no clue if I'm actually going to be able to make it all the way to Weed. Just with the snow, if there's snow chain controls or whatever, Reading might be about the farthest I can go north, which is fine. That's where I need to do my shopping. But yeah, so I wanted to check out some updates and, and I want to highlight what I think is probably, in my opinion, the most exciting new charging provider, and it's not Iona, it's Electric Era. I've been really impressed by them. Let's go check out some of the progress on some of their sites. I featured their newly open site in Weed the last time I was there, and they have some updates since. I'm trying to get out by about 10 o'clock, so I'm going to turn on the heater and defroster. Maybe the camera needs it too. Jeez. All right, well, I'm making a quick stop here. Where I'm getting onto the freeway, it just makes sense. Otherwise I'm going to have to stop here when I come back. And this isn't going to be a charging stop, but I need to go grab some olive oil. Also, this station is still down. This is that old charge point unit. I don't know if they ever plan on powering it back again, but I need to look to see whether this is technically hosted by the Olive Pit or by this gas station, because this would be a perfect spot for something like the Electric Era sites that I'm going to be looking at, where maybe they don't have the heaviest power drop, but with a battery you could easily get 2 to 4 of these 200 kilowatt split power units in, and this would be a perfect location for them, right next to a gas station, convenience store. You see the parking all along here, some of the olive trees, but then Olive Pit is just on the other side. So it's a great lunch stop, it's a great convenience stop, and again, you're just off the freeway over there. Yeah, here's where we are so far. Just 60 miles into the trip, nothing too major. But I need to go in and grab my olive oil. All right, well, the damage was done. Shop smart, shop S-smart, but also shop local if you can. I'm gonna try this one out. This is it's a honey balsamic. This should be very interesting. And then I've heard some people complaining about actual olive oil that they get in the supermarkets not being natural. Well, I mean, if you go to actual olive distributors, right, then you get what you're paying for. But anyway, we're burning daylight and we need to head off. And actually, one thing I was going to point out, this is a very recent development. Just this last trip or two, it went off and then it came back on again. I've lost reading from one of my tire pressure monitoring sensors, and I think they might actually, oh yeah, and then winter warning. This is why I said I kind of want to go now, but I don't know how it's going to end up. But yeah, I'm wondering if there are actually batteries in those individual tire pressure sensors, and if so, I mean, these things are 8 years old now. They're probably dead. So if anyone knows let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to end up having to take this to a tire shop and see if they can pull the tire pressure sensor and hopefully not replace it if it's just something as simple as an internal battery that's gone dead. But anyway, we're burning daylight. Time to hit the road. We made it here. We're at the electric era that went in Mount Shasta, which is really amazing. Uh, the turnaround time for them is absolutely insane. I think they said it's 7 weeks from signing the paperwork to actually powering up their chargers. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in. It's about 10 degrees too cold to start snowing. There haven't been any chain restrictions, but that could change at a moment's notice. And I don't really have enough to get home just yet. So let's go ahead and try and get plugged in and just make sure everything is working. All right, well, that was a bit of a bummer. Already initial letdown with electric era. So the first station actually looks like the credit card reader was down. I didn't want to download the app or anything like that. I'm sure there's other ways of initiating it because the station itself looks up. It just looks like their, is it the Vivo Pay? Just looks like that payment reader was down. So hopefully they can get that fixed and up and running. Like I said, it's not, there's still a lot of snow on the ground. With the breeze, it's pretty cold. I might put my jacket on in a minute. It's not quite cold enough to snow yet, but like I said, that could change at any minute. We know some more weather is coming into Northern California, so I don't know if there's going to be chain restrictions, stuff like that. I don't want to get stuck, stranded, whatever, having to put chains on or just getting like roads closed and then not being able to return home. But that being said, I still also want to check out the Pilot Flying J that's in Weed up a little bit from here. But like I said, I'm just really impressed with the turnaround time, getting this site up and running. And I should also note, I guess I didn't mention this. This is the weekend. This is the Sunday before Thanksgiving week. So this is probably going to be an increased travel period. And so, you have the I-4, I can't remember with the BMW, all their designations. It's an I something. And then the EQS, the Mercedes EQS. So two sort of higher end luxury EVs plugged in and charging when I was here. I think they were both near done. So I think the BMW is at like 86%. So I'm not even going to look at how much power it was pulling. But that's like for a site that was literally just fenced off and getting ready for construction 2 months ago or 2.5 months ago to have these chargers up and running now. That's why I said I'm really impressed with Electric Era. They've been doing their pace is just been amazing, and a lot of their newer sites are not small. So there's another one going in Williams, California, much farther south, but at a very important intersection between Highway 20 and I-5. I don't know if I'll be able to check it out today, probably not, but it's close enough that I can swing by maybe during the week and just see if construction has started, because again, I would expect that to be up and running in just a matter of weeks at that point, which is really impressive for a relatively new charging provider. Like I said, there's a hiccup with the payment reader, but I don't know if I'm going to hold that too much against them. And then the other thing is too, I'm charging at 45 kilowatt right now. I don't know if that's the battery. Like my battery is just cold. My display now is verifying that. But one of the tricks that I can tell when just to see if it's the charger or if it's my car, is to just turn the AC on high, right? And so now what I'm seeing is an increase in power draw from the charger. So now I can verify that the charger itself isn't derated. Here you can see, it's 38, so it's dropped a little bit, but it's 44 here, 45 here. That's, I think, the max that the battery can take right now, probably temperature based. But with the heater on, you can see that the power from the station is drawing up near that 150 amp max. That's the limit of this CCS port. So the way I like to look at this in winter travel for the Bolt EV is you have really no reason, if your battery is hitting thermal like limits in terms of how quickly it's allowed to charge, you have no reason to not just turn the car on and just crank the climate control to its highest setting, because you're not impacting your charge rate, and you're maximizing your time, and you're effectively still pulling 55 kilowatt from the charger when you would otherwise only be pulling 40 or 45. So it's really more important in winter. And then of course, if you have a little guest who wants to be cuddled up and staying out of the cold, well, then you're accommodating that. So I don't know how much I want to charge up on this. Like I said, I might do just a quick walk around the site while the car heats up and while I charge, because I do want to make it up to Weed before any real weather starts heading in. And then of course I still have some shopping and stuff like that I need to do on my way back out. We are here, and I'm not gonna dilly-dally. It's already starting to snow a little bit on the road. So like I said, I don't want to get stuck out there with a chain restriction. Yeah, here we are. It's just a 36 now. So yeah, it's starting to snow a little bit outside. Not too much here actually. So maybe it's just a patchy cloud for now. But like I said, I don't want to risk getting snowed in. And then this is going to be the first chance I have to test out one of these new GM Energy locations, but also just to confirm that auto charge works on this. So this should be completely hands-free for me, other than needing to prop up the cable. And actually this one is pretty light. It's got the cable management on it is pretty good. I might not even need to lift it up. So auto charge should work, right? I've always had, yeah, it's been authorized. So I've seen some things or heard some things from like Rivian owners who had said that they just couldn't get their auto charge working. I've had this working since beta and it's never had an issue. Now, you know, one thing I will say, as this thing takes forever to get started, is yeah, these Delta units, I just wish they could have faster startup times. Yeah, so, well, I can see it. It turned green, so it's charging now. Even though the screen is a little bit behind. And here, this will give me a little bit more transparency into what was going on. Like, I know my battery was cold, but it went straight up to pulling almost 150 amps, now it's down a little bit. So it looks like it still might be throttled. The car might only be asking for about 134 amps right now, even though I'm at 27%. So yeah, but this is awesome. Just came right in, flew right into pilot, and yeah, the car's charging right away. Of course, we get, you know, there's a lot of wind. I have my back to it, so hopefully it's not messing with the mic too much. But yeah, you know, looks like they repaired that, and they did put something there to tell the semis not to go. But yeah, I'm trying to have my wind back to the wind so it's not messing with the mic too much. It's pretty windy right now. So yeah, you can see the weather blowing in, but this is one of those cases, if it was raining right now, this is a really nice place to be under the canopy, right? So this is one of those sites that we kind of love. You've got your trash cans, paper towels, squeegees that electric vehicle owners are so not used to having that they just drop them on the ground. This one looks like it might just have some buoyancy to it. Yeah, EV owners get used to having squeegees. That's the only thing I can say. And then, of course, my one big criticism of these locations, and I've heard it echoed by a lot of different people, is there's just not enough stalls here. And I think Pilot might be underestimating the demand for these locations. And I think if you're going to have 6 stalls, you should have at least 3 of those 350 kilowatt units. And then I don't actually mind, especially on the places that have sit-down charging, if there were a couple 100 kilowatt Delta units over there, or just a couple more 350 kilowatt split power units, and just give someone in a car a chance to sit down, you know, park and eat. So I'm gonna go ahead, and especially since I think my charging is still throttled from the cold, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heater on, and then I'm gonna actually run in and use the bathroom. It's been like 2.5, almost 3 hours on the road. Oh, look at that. I wonder if I can zoom in on that. Just, yeah, when the weather starts coming in Northern California, it comes in, so. All right. Whew. All right, well, unfortunately, looks like everything that they had for breakfast is already gone, so it's all breaded and deep fried, so I just got a Caesar salad. You know, hopefully this will be good, and then the little boy can get a little bit of a chicken treat while he's here. And then, you know, I think it's mostly going to be shopping on the way back. Like I said, I still have limited time, so I'm just charging up right now. We're a little over 50% at this point. So by the time I finish eating, you know, we should just be able to get on the road and go. But like I said, I'm seeing the snow starting to come down in flurries, so I don't want to dawdle too long. So grab some food and get ready to hit the road. I think we overstayed our welcome. Time to end the session, so let's get ready to hit the road. We're already down to 37 kilowatt. First things first, got to use the trash bin. Yeah, this thing just doesn't want to stay in there. Oh well. First world problems, am I right? Yeah, it's already starting to come in sideways, and we're already down to 100 amps. I'm just going to go ahead and stop the charge, end session. This has been great, actually. This is absolutely nothing to complain about with this stop. So, yeah, like I said, even the cable management here makes it so I don't even have to support the Huber Plus Sooner cables on here. So that's just a great job all the way around. And now we got to head into some weather. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. For posterity's sake. What was the cost? I didn't actually... it seems like it's relatively expensive. 53 cents per... Actually, that's 2 cents that's 2 cents a kilowatt hour cheaper than electric Arrow was. So, and cheaper than a lot of the superchargers are along this route. So, not too bad. Well, I was all getting ready to go shopping, and then I remembered, I almost forgot, but I remembered while I was up here, there was one more station that I wanted to check out. So I just told navigation to navigate here. We're just south of Shasta Dam. Really convenient location, just off of I-5. So, you know, we got some efficiency back, right? We were coming back downhill. And, you know, there's a nice Rivian R1S there too. So I guess word has gotten out. So this is that BP Pulse. My only real concern here is, you know, these are the RTM 150s. I've attempted to use these tritium units before. Well, I'm not going to continue living in the wreckage of my future. Let's go ahead and get out and try these. When I tried these though with ChargeNet, I couldn't get them to work with the Bolt EV. So let's see, yeah, they want to plug in the connector first and then I'll pay. So let's see how that goes. Here you go, up here, up top, there you go. Yeah, that looks good. All right, let's see if I can get this. So these don't feel like liquid cooled cables. They're the heavier ones. So now it's occupied. It's 48 cents per kilowatt hour, which isn't bad. Now let's try their pay terminal. Which one is the? So they have a nice rubberized receptacle for the payment reader. I guess that keeps the weather. And it authorized my payment. It says it's occupied. And yeah, it started up. So yeah, so here we go. It started right up. Yeah, this one is the full 150. The one I tried before was only 75 kilowatt, but this worked pretty well. I mean, I will say, so here's the thing, and you know, a word of caution to anybody who decides to sign a contract with BP, right? First it was FreeWire and then it was Tritium. Both of them have kind of gone belly up. I mean, all joking aside, yeah, maybe use caution before you sign up with BP Pulse. But right now, they're supposed to be using Alpitronic and Tesla. I think it's actually their V4s. So those should be a nice upgrade. These are listed as 400 amp chargers. So I'm guessing they'll be able to split both ways. So really what it looks like is you get 150 kilowatt on one side and then the other side will be relegated to 75 while it's in use. So it's split power, but for the first person maybe gets the majority of the juice maybe. I'm just trying to figure out how that's working, but it does look like you can have two EVs charging here. Yeah, and then these are the REMA Flex cable. So like I said, it's 400 amp output. So yeah, my guess is that because these don't feel like liquid cooled cables, my guess is that's a 400 amp boost probably for 10 minutes or so. But you know, that's going to be good enough. These are a little bit underpowered. Literally the freeway's right there. Right, like yeah, so you're one turn off the freeway and back on again. And I'd use caution to any out of spec style road trippers out here. The CHP headquarters is just over there, so be careful. All joking aside, though, so yeah, this is a really nice implementation. You know, that's just 2 nose installs. I think these are, like I said, I wouldn't prioritize this over the electric Era, or especially not something like a Pilot Flying J where you're going to have overhead canopy. And if you're traveling in a modern EV, like I said, this is a little bit underpowered for a rest stop type charger, right? Hopefully they can keep these chargers up and running, like I said, with Tritium down for the count, I guess. You know, hopefully they're able to upkeep these. I don't know if there's any. It looks like this is just all the display information you get. The pater, like I said, this is a little rubberized thing that goes over there to protect it, but worked the first time, slid my card in right away, and reasonably priced, right? So I don't know why it's not showing that pricing here, but it showed it up front. So as you can see, $4 to add 8 kilowatt hours. So all right, well, it's time to hit the road. Shopping is done. It's 4:20. Yeah, eat your heart out, Elon. It's 4:20. We're in Reading. I have a little less than half of a battery cell left. So let's see. And then, like I said, I'm just done shopping. Yeah, there's Elon. I said 4:20, and he shows up. Okay, so I'm probably just going to start heading back, but this is not enough range to get me all the way back. So I will need to charge on the return. So, you know, Trader Joe's fuels up a lot of things, but it doesn't fuel up EVs. So I'm probably just going to start heading back and then decide along the way where I'm going to stop. But by the time I need to recharge, I probably also should be stopping for dinner. So I think maybe I'll try to just maximize those things and then just start heading back. And again, it's raining a little bit, as you can see on the windshield. So let's hit the road. All right, so I lied. I decided I actually need to stop by Chase Bank, and the little boy needs to take a little walk. And this is actually a great stop for both of them. And I still haven't sent back my adapter yet. So I'm stopping here at the Tesla supercharger. Hopefully my app works. We'll see how this goes. You know, I haven't used this charger in a while. And then, you know, I used this one before, just testing it out. And one thing I want to note, the way they configured this with that one pull install at the end, there's actually no way for a non-Tesla EV with a properly placed charging port to use this location without taking up 2 stalls. So unfortunately, there's just no way to get around that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop out and see if I can get this started. Okay, well, that wasn't painless. I'm not sure, it dropped the session at first and then the app stalled out, but now we're charging. So 2 attempts, but that's okay. And it looks like I show up and everybody leaves. So, well, there you go for inclusivity. So anyway, yeah. So I mean, I'm charging at full power, pretty much, more or less, maybe a little less. Still a little cold, but I need to go walk the dog anyway. So yeah, let's go do that. While he's busy scoping out the joint. It was too cold earlier. Let's see if I can focus in a little bit. So yeah, it's funny. I think there were 4 people charging when I showed up, and now they're all gone. But I'm gonna need to use the bank when I'm done walking the dog. But yeah, I was gonna note that. So if I pull in like I did last time at the very end, yeah, pulling in at the very end, it might seem like you're only blocking 1 stall, but the problem is that last stall is meant for a Tesla vehicle to pull in nose in. So there's literally, because they put it at that far right side, this site configuration does not allow for a non-Tesla, like a Bolt EV, a Mach-E, Lightning, something like that, to charge here without taking up 2 stalls. So no matter what, you're taking up 2 stalls, but there are plenty here. And like I said, just in general, Northern California, actual Northern California, tends to have a lot fewer electric vehicles. And the people that do have electric vehicles up here, most of them can charge at home. So you really are just getting the random travelers basically between Portland and Seattle down into like Sacramento and the Bay Area, which is a decent number, but for this route, it seems like it has more than enough coverage for Tesla. And as you could kind of see in this video, we're getting to the point where there's more than enough coverage for non-Tesla EV owners as well. So I will say that this juniper bush seems to be of keen interest. So I guess it's a productive stop. All right, well, this is awkward. It's going to be about another hour and a half driving just to get home. So I'm definitely going to want to stop and use the bathroom. And I'm not really hungry just yet, but in 45 minutes I might be. So I think I'm just going to continue with the plan where I was going to grab some dinner down here and have the chance to use the bathroom. And it'll probably add 30 minutes to my trip, but that's all the more reason to get going now. And unfortunately, I have to take my phone off of Android Auto in order to interface with the Tesla charging and the Tesla app. So, you know, again, first world problems. Oh yeah, and then of course the adapter is not a one-handed operation, so stop charging. So now I can pull this out. But I do need my phone back. So yeah, one thing too is I wonder if what was happening is I needed to press the button on the actual Tesla plug, because when I did that, it released the adapter easier. So I think maybe that was the trick, but I need to grab my phone. All right, and then we were finally joined, it looks like, by another Tesla, a Tesla Model Y this time. But we're gonna hit the road. Well, good news and bad news. You know, I got here in plenty of time. With plenty of juice, I could probably just make it home. But I figure might as well not run that low, and I'm gonna have to make dinner when I get home, so I might as well try and grab something to eat right now. But the bad news is it looks like I got here just in time for Thunderhill Raceway to close, so we have a bunch of boy racers in their BMWs driving around town and other assorted cars, making all sorts of noise, but hopefully not also crowding the black bear. So this should actually be a much simpler process in terms of charging, just because, well, it's EVgo. And let's see, I did get the one that I had to cross over here. So let's see. Yep, just automatic. I guess I could have pulled a little bit closer to that stall, but this one's wrapped around here. But yeah, just right away starting up, and 30% battery would have been enough to get home. And these are only 50 kilowatt chargers, so of course the screen looks like it's frozen, but also great detail. Again, telling you this is a max 500 volts, max 125 amps. And just a side note, because a lot of people are still confused, almost every public charger that's faster than like this 72 or 62.5 kilowatt, right, is 1,000 volt capable. It really is, at least in North America, right, it really is only the 50 kilowatt or 62.5 kilowatt that usually aren't, because they're a single power module. Anything that has 2 or more power modules can usually double and then double the voltage. That's just how the public chargers were. So anyway, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and go in and grab something to eat. It takes however long it takes, and of course I'll use the bathroom while I'm there too. But welcome to the fabulous town of Willows. So, well, unfortunately, it was as busy as I was expecting it to be, so it took quite a while to get my food. We charged way longer than we needed to, but the little boy gets some treats, so I think he doesn't mind that at all. But yeah, we're up to 80% now, which is far more than I needed to charge to get home. So yeah, we've been here for 56 minutes, longer than I wanted to be. But you know, if this were a regular road trip, then I'd have probably another 160, 180 miles, even in these conditions, that I'd be able to drive. So, and a full belly. You ready to go home? Okay. All right. Well, we're home about 10 hours after, so not a fast trip by any means. Again, I was doing a lot of shopping, kind of got stuck in a few different stores. But, 360, almost 365 miles. Visited a few different charging stations, kind of a sampling of what's available in Northern California. There are still several stations that I haven't actually visited myself in this northern route, and I might do that in the near future. Someone had mentioned going up to Wairika. There is another Electric Era station going up in Wairika, and there's a few other chargers that are up there. So it might be worth making that loop. But again, I'm just going to have to, I think, wait out some of this winter weather. As long as it can be cold, as long as it's cold, it's fine. But if we have these atmospheric rivers coming through, then you can have road closures due to snow, 2, 3, 4 feet dropping in a day pretty easily. So try to avoid that if possible. But everything looks like it's in good order, right? Like Weed looks like it's a great place to stop. Both exits have chargers now. Mount Shasta has multiple different, so you're talking about just a 10, 15, 20-mile strip of Interstate 5 in Northern California where there's any number of fast chargers. Some of them are proprietary, but others are public. And yeah, I mean, it's just looking good. And then, of course, the one that I want to check on is the TA in Corning. That shut down, and with it, that FreeWire charger that was there. In fact, they had already started pulling down the signs as I was driving back. The whole site was dark. So I don't know what's going to happen with that equipment that they left there, if someone's going to take it over. And then we know that Love's is looking to build out their own charging network, and one of the PIPs in the upcoming charging locations, it's either got to be the Love's in Corning or the Love's in Williams. I think probably it's going to be Williams, but I haven't really seen construction at either site yet, so I'll probably stop by those in the next few weeks or so, just to check out the different Love's locations to see if there's anything afoot while I'm there. So anyway, that's all I had for this trip. It was, I got lots of shopping done, picked up a lot of stuff, and yeah, just a bunch of errands, and was able to check out some of the charging while I was there. So hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you learned something, and thank you for watching.